If you have ever thought about going for your big dreams and you've been a little nervous, you've been on the fence, or maybe you've tried and it hasn't gone the way that you've planned, this episode is going to pick you up by your bootstraps and going to help you get motivated to keep going. I am interviewing Kelsie Johnson, aka DJ Rosie J, on the show today. I can't wait for you to hear all of her helpful tips of how she grew her DJ business over the last 12 months from zero to fully booked out through the end of this year. It's going to be so good. Stay tuned. What's up, magical human? Hey, if you're like me and you want to create a bigger impact on the world, why not share your knowledge and talents with others? Welcome to the podcast where I share marketing strategies, product creation tips, and real-life stories of how women all over the world are using their knowledge and creativity to build a life and business they love on their terms. I'll share with you over a decade of knowledge and show you how you can take what you already know and do and package it into a digital product like a course, membership site, or digital download that sells globally. I'm Amy Jo, and you're listening to the Digital Magic Podcast. Hi, Kelsey!
Hi, Amy!
I have been looking forward to this, honestly, for a very long time. And then we set the date, and I'm just like, let's go. I haven't been able to sleep. I've been so excited. So for those of you listening to this is Kelsey. And I have, DJ Rosie J. Hey, we go so far back. I was thinking today, almost like 15 years. And I have just been thinking, and the reason that I wanted to bring you on the show is just the progressions and things that I've been able to like watch and witness as your friend has been magical, but especially in the last 12 months, just you building out the life that you have always wanted to have.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's true. I think about this. I think about it at least once a week. I'm just so proud of you.
Oh my God.
So I'm always rooting for you. And I cannot wait for you to share your story today. I guess during the pre-show when we were talking about all of the topics and stuff that we want to cover for this, I'm just so excited. I think you're going to really help a lot of people with this episode. So I would love for you to just give us a little intro about who you are, what you do.
All right. Well, my name's Kelsey. I go by DJ Rosie J when I am behind a microphone. I have been DJing for about, I would say 2 years now. I've owned my business for about a year now. I kind of split off from other DJ and I was like, I'm going to start my own business. And I didn't realize how hard that was going to be. I specialize mostly in karaoke and music bingo, but I also do special events and I also do weddings. So I feel very blessed. Yes, I feel incredibly blessed by the success I have found in the last year. And it's just been a really beautiful journey and a really hard one a lot of times, but I feel like I'm on the up and up now.
Yeah, man, the first few years, just getting everything figured out, you have really pushed through that. We all kind of go through as we're building a business and we're going down the entrepreneurial path, which I feel like you've always had that bug. Some people are born with that bug where we're just like, we want to do things our own way. We want to figure it out. We want to build the thing, whatever way that looks like, however we figure out how to do it. Like that's just kind of in our blood. And I've seen you really have that bug since I met you, like from day one, and just watching it evolve over time has just been so fun. You talked about like the last year, really the last 12 months has been pretty explosive for you, which is awesome. But I remember about 12 months ago, we had a chat and it was really hard. Like you were in the weeds of figuring out like, what are we doing here? Where do I want to go? How can I even make this possible? I don't have DJ equipment. I don't have any of this and that. And it was really difficult. So I want to touch on that and the progression over the last 12 months.
I don't think I realized how hard it was going to be. And, honestly, I started my business out of stubbornness. I was under another DJ and he had all this equipment and all this stuff. And I ended up splitting off from him because of my business tactics being different from his. And I was like, I don't want to work with you anymore. And so splitting off, I was like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. Like he did all of it. He had the equipment, he had the charisma, he had all of that stuff that a person needs to be able to have a successful business. And I was like, I don't have any of that stuff and I don't understand what it is. You know what I mean? And so when I first started, I was like, okay, well, DJ equipment's like thousands of dollars, you know? And I was like, where do you find that? How do you get that stuff? How do you get the stuff that you need to be a successful DJ, a successful business owner? And so I think that's where a lot of the people that supported me came in. I didn't have a board like my mixer. And I was like, you know what? This is the end for me. That's pretty much what I told a business owner. Her name was Lori. And at that time, I was working at just one venue. And she was like, well, I still want you to do karaoke. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't have anything. And she's like, I'll buy you a board. And I was like, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. And I was like sitting with her, I was crying, and she's like, Kelsey, you were meant to do this. I was like, I don't feel like I'm meant to do this. And she's like, you're an incredible DJ. And if you were to give up on the things that you wanted, I think a lot of people would be sad. So she bought me my first mixing board. And let me tell you, after she bought me that, I still wanted to quit. I still was like, how am I supposed to get speakers? How am I supposed to get this? How am I supposed to do that? And she's like, Kelsey, you'll figure it out. Take it one day at a time. And I was like, oh, Lori, it's so hard. I know I sat on your porch and I was like, Amy, how do I do this? Like, how do I find venues? How do I get equipment? How do I do all these things that I have to do? And I feel like the people that came underneath me were the people that pushed me up to be successful like I am today. Because without those people, I wouldn't be here and I would have quit a very long time ago, I think.
Yeah,
You
it truly is about who you're surrounding yourself with. Because
Yeah.
if it had been the opposite and you were surrounding yourself with people who did not believe in you and they're like, yeah, that would be really hard. Maybe you should just quit.
Yeah.
Like
And I would have.
even so sad, right? That would have been so sad. So it really depends and comes down to like the people around you who are going to be like, take it a day at a time. Let's map out a plan. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's that going to look like? And how can we support you to help you get there?
Yeah. Yeah. And I do. I feel very fortunate for everybody and like just like the people that come to my shows and I mean a lot of my success is because of the people that come to my shows. I know that there's people that are out there being like they're like, "Hey, I need a DJ." And they're like, "I got you." And and they send them my way and I feel very fortunate about that. I mean, I won Lee Summit Community's best local DJ. And I mean, that's just a year into my business being a business. And that was huge for me. I cried. I've been here only a year and this is what they voted for me. They see me, and I felt very seen for the first time in a very long time. Oh my gosh, I'm getting teary eyed
I'm crying over here.
I know.
Oh my
I'm getting a little
goodness.
teary eyed over it.
There's
It's crazy.
something just amazing that happens when you feel seen and heard. In whatever area or whatever way, it could be the smallest thing, but having just that of like, this is what I've been trying to be seen for. This is what I've been trying to do. It's literally been pushing like a rock up a hill or a boulder, not even a rock, because
It
it's so
really is.
hard in the
It's so hard.
beginning.
It
Mentally,
really
it's so hard, every in every way, and a lot of people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
We see the highlight reels of people who have already been there. You don't
Mm,
a lot of times see them in the mud trying
yeah.
to even figure out where the boulder is before they even
Oh, for
start
sure.
pushing it up the hill.
And
It's
they don't
really,
tell you how exhausting it is either. Like
yeah.
when even though like I had one show, it was like one of the most exhausting years of my life. And I even told my mom, this was the hardest year of my life. And she's like, how was it hard? And I'm like, because I felt like everything I wanted for almost 6 or 7 months, I was like, I want this. And I was like, no. And I was like, I
Mhm.
really want this. No. I was like, every venue I'd go to, I'd be like, hey, I'm a DJ. And they're like, no, and I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
really
like,
is. It
yeah,
really
it
is.
was,
And it feels like entrepreneurship just in general, people think, "Oh, you're starting your own business." Like actually, it's all personal development
yeah,
because the mindset work that you have to do, the mental hoops that you have to jump through just to pick your own self up on the days where you're just like, I don't even want to get out of bed today because this is really hard. Because I guarantee that whatever you feel like doing in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to look back at this last year and be like, well, I did that. Of course I can do that. Like, I'll
yeah.
figure it out because I figured it out then.
Yeah, and I do feel like that. I feel like when I first started talking to venues, I just wasn't good at it. And now I feel it's a lot better. It's more of, hey, it's nice to meet you. Go in and shake people's hands. And it feels very business-like where I just booked a new venue tonight, actually. It's called Shooter's Tavern. And I literally just, we were talking back and forth on Facebook. Then we exchanged numbers and I went in and I told her, you should just let me try for you. Because the thing is, if I go in and do it for therefore a venue, usually they're like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, I want to keep you." Yeah, you know what I mean. And I mean, nothing to toot my own horn. I do so much better in person. You know what I mean? I do so much better if I'm like, okay, I know I'm an awkward person, like meeting me, but if you just let me stand behind a DJ booth and show you what I do, I think you're gonna be happy with the result and what people are saying. I didn't know that about myself first. I didn't invite people to my shows. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't invite them to come to one of my other shows. I literally was just going in and be like, here's my business card. Bye. You know, I wasn't being like, hey, here's all my shows. If you want to know who I am, this is who I am, you know? And I feel like I learned that about myself as, a business person, I guess, is that, I do a lot better if I'm behind that board and they can actually see me doing my work instead of just showing them face sometimes.
Yeah, and we had a big college get together a couple weeks ago, and we went to this place for like a game night, and you just walked right over there to the guys and you were like, "Hey, this is what I do," and you started networking straight out the gate. So, what would you say, looking over the past 12 months, what would you say has been the biggest lesson for you? And then also the biggest piece of advice that you could give someone who's thinking about going down a different path?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is to give yourself grace. You're going to mess up. You're going to you're going to not be the best all the time. There are times when your equipment's going to fail or you're not feeling up to doing the job that you have been, given. And I think you just need to give yourself grace. And also, don't forget that you deserve to take time away from that and to reevaluate those goals that you have. When I first started, I didn't do that. And there was a time when I was sitting on the back porch of Bricks and I was just crying, just crying. Aaron comes on, he's like, "What is wrong?" And I was like, "I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm overwhelmed." And he's like, "Kelsey, take time off. Take time away from here. Focus on your DJ business." And I took a week off of Bricks and that really, really, really helped me. So don't be afraid to take a step back and be like, what is the trajectory of my business? And what do I want out of it? Because it's a scary thing. It can be really scary. And at that time, I was really scared because I had booked a couple of other venues and I already had a few more. And then I was working at Bricks full time. And I was just like, I can't function. I'm tired. So don't be afraid to take the breaks you need to take. I think that's the biggest lesson I learned, and to be inspired by everything around you. Be inspired by other people that do the same thing you do. Don't be intimidated by the people that do the same thing you do. I think you can learn a lot from people who've been in the business for a long time, whatever that business would be for anybody. I think a lot of people can get it really intimidated by those people. Learn from them. Ask them to sit with you and to teach you. I did my first wedding last year. It went terrible for me. So I probably should sit in on someone else's wedding, like with a DJ and see how they do it. And don't be afraid to do that. And also don't screw other people over is the other thing. I think is another thing. I've seen a lot of DJs doing that to themselves, to other DJs here recently. And it really saddens me because we're in the same business and we could be helping each other out. And stepping on other people's toes is not the way to get ahead or up on the ladder. It actually just makes the ladder fall over when you do that. And it makes you have to start over.
Ooh,
So
that's a really good quote that you just quoted. Like, don't step on
about the
people going up the ladder, it's gonna fall over. Like that. Yeah, that
yeah.
was all of that was such great advice. And taking notes over here, honestly, for myself too, because really, especially rest is really hard for me. I if I'm just sitting there not doing anything, I feel unproductive and I end up shaming myself. And it's something over like the past really 6 months I've been trying to focus on of just giving myself time because
Yeah.
like I mean, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I pulled an all-nighter in my business because I was just really, I know it was a terrible idea. I don't
Oh,
recommend
girl.
this. I was just so focused. I had a goal. I want to get this thing done and out. And before I knew it, it was 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh snap. Yeah. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. So rest is like such a
Mm-hmm.
big thing that people need to remember. Just taking time off, especially as like an entrepreneur and someone who is building a business, it feels 24/7,
Oh, yeah.
365.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, the days that maybe you're not focused on it or you're out doing something else, it's still kind of in the back of your mind. Like, what can I be doing? How can I improve this? How can I da 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 da?
Yeah, how can I make this
So
better? Yeah, things like that, yeah, that all goes through your head, especially at
yeah,
night when you're, like, laying there and you're like,
the
"Oh, I know
nighttime
the way I
thoughts.
can make that better." Yeah.
Yeah, the nighttime thoughts. Woo.
Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
totally get it. Thank you so much for all of your and chatting with me and all of your tips and just everything. I didn't expect to shed some tears today, but I did.
I know, I got
It
kinda
was just
teary-eyed too thinking about I haven't thought about that in a long time, like, of course, I talked to all of those people and, when I got my award, I was like, "Guys, look what I got." I was like and it wasn't even me, it was you guys, like, you're the one that, like, really this is for you guys because you guys are the people that pushed me up when I could not push myself up off the ground, and that's a true thing, I couldn't get off the ground. And people knew it and they were like, "All right, Kelsey, let me just pick you up. All right, let me take you this way. You're gonna be fine." Literally, people were like, "You're gonna be fine." And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to. I literally
yeah.
told people, I was like, "I don't think I'm gonna be okay." And so, like, that's you keep your people with you.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful and they're vibrant and they're the people that are gonna get you all the way to where you want to be because
Mm.
I would not be here without them. I would have quit a year ago.
But you did it and you're here and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh,
You
thank
were
you.
doing amazing, and congrats on your award, by the way. I meant to say that
Oh,
about 20 minutes ago when you brought it up, and I'm very excited for you. That is
thank
incredible
you.
and an amazing accomplishment in your
Thank
first year, nonetheless. Like
that
wild.
was so wild.
Wild. It's
That's some crazy stuff.
oh, you were just doing the thing. You're booked out solid for the year and all of your gigs and everything. I can't wait to see where you go next year and the years
Thank
to come. So
you.
thank you for being on here. And where can we find you online, by the way? Or in
Um,
person for those of you locally?
oh, okay. So I am on a Facebook. It's DJ Rosie J. That is my DJ name. There's a couple of them on there. There's Kelsie Johnson, DJ Rosie J, and then DJ Rosie J. Those are both of my business pages that people can contact me on, send me messages on. Doing shows, I do Mondays at the Rusty Spur, Tuesdays at Pink Elephant. These are all in Lee Summit. They're great venues. Wednesday, I do sometimes Bricks. Thursday, I do Shooter's Tavern. Friday, I do the Goat Brewing Company. And then on Saturday, I'm at Edge on 7 in Blue Springs. So all pretty much Lee Summit, Blue Springs owned, except for Shooter's Tavern, which is up in Kansas City. I know I feel very fortunate. Oh, and I also do music bingo at Breaks. Oh my gosh. I forgot on Tuesday I have two shows. So I forgot. I always forget about that one, but that
Oh
one's really
my
fun too.
goodness. Yeah, music bingo. Hey,
Oh my
so
gosh, I love
fun.
music bingo. I was gonna say times, and I was like, you know what? Just come anytime. just, just show up at 3.
That is and you built all of that yourself and you're just doing the thing. So proud of you. Thank you
Oh,
again.
thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Kelsey.
Aw man, this episode's over, but that's okay. You can come hang out in the Digital Product Female Entrepreneurs Facebook group, hang out with thousands of us making digital products, creating awesome, cool things, and selling them to the world. Come get inspired, come hang out with us. There's thousands of us there, and we cannot wait to support you. Now, if you need some ideas on digital products that you can create and sell, go to herownmagic.com and download my freebie. It's 65 digital products you can create and sell by this weekend. It is waiting for you there. Go check it out. And you have an amazing week. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Go create your own magic.